Hey, what's up everybody? Jay here, back with another video. I hope everyone is having an awesome day. If you guys are new to my channel or haven't subscribed yet, do so now guys by clicking that subscribe button below. And if you find the video helpful, useful, entertaining, whatever the case, hit the thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. So two things I want to talk about today guys. One is this FXCNC racing steering damper that I got off Amazon, and the other is this Yamaha racing Quickshifter for the MT09. Now I've had both of these on the bike for a little over 2 months now, a little over 2,000 miles. I thought it was time to do kind of a little update on how they're doing. Now I like to call these things speed items because, you know, they're not needed for everyday motorcycles. You typically only find things like steering dampers, quick shifters on racing motorcycles or a lot of the really high-end crotch rockets. A lot of them even come from the factory with the steering stabilizer and a quick shifter. My MT09 however did not come with either of these. They were added after the fact. I think some of them do come with quick shifters, but I do know that they are wired for one. So I bought this quick shifter and it is a plug and play kit. There's already a receptacle to plug the quick shifter into. So because these are, you know, racing items or things for really fast motorcycles, you know, why would you need either one of these then, really? At least for the steering damper, I can kind of justify wanting to have one of these is because it helps mitigate things like this. That is a tank slapper. It certainly won't prevent that from happening, but it helps reduce the risk. And if for any reason you do get one, then your chances of recovering from it are a little bit greater if you have a steering damper. Not only does it help with that, but it also does help prevent or mitigate any other unwanted feedback that you might get from that front wheel, from, you know, wet pavement, loose gravel, or if you pop a wheelie, sometimes your handlebars, your front wheel might get cocked one side or the other. And if you set it down the wrong way, that could be a really bad day for you. And I also look at steering dampers as kind of just cheap insurance. Cool to have, but this particular one, it was cheap. It was like 70 bucks. I've had it, like I said, a little over 2 months, 2,000 miles. Haven't had any issues with it so far. And, you know, 70 bucks is cheap for a steering damper, considering most of them run in the hundreds of dollars. The one I really want for this motorcycle is a $500 steering dampener. I may get that one day, but right now I'm gonna run this until it's no good. I don't know how well it would stand up to like a violent tank slapper, and I hope I never find out. But as of now, it's held up pretty well. The finish is held up really well. However, I do keep this motorcycle in the garage. I never leave it parked outside overnight or for any extended period of time. So that probably has a lot to do with why the steering damper still looks good. I would imagine something like this, if you left it out in the elements, it probably wouldn't hold up very well. And then the quick shifter, like I said, a little over 2 months, 2,000 miles, zero issues with it. It works 100% of the time I use it. The only gripe I would say I have about the quick shifter is I notice that sometimes when shifting from 1 to 2, sometimes I'll get a little bit of a clunky shift. And I think a lot of that clunky shift from 1 to 2 has a lot to do with when I shift as far as like my RPMs and how much throttle I'm giving it. I think that has something to do with it. And if anybody else has ever experienced any type of like clunky upshift from 1 to 2 with this Yamaha quick shifter, let me know, post it in the comments below. So a lot of the times when I'm going from 1 to 2, I typically just shift normally. The only time I'll ever use the quick shifter from 1 to 2 is if I'm accelerating fast and hard. But I would say a large majority of the time, I use the quick shifter 99% of the time. One of the really nice things about the quick shifters for the MT09 is it already comes pre-wired for a quick shifter, so it's a really easy plug and play setup. I actually have a video on how to install one of these, so check that out if you happen to get one. The other nice thing about the MT09 is even with the quick shifter function activated, you can shift normally and the bike it'll shift just fine. It won't act weird or anything. I've heard or read from other people that have quick shifters on their motorcycles is sometimes when you have the quick shifter function active, the motorcycle wants to act a little wonky when you shift normally as opposed to using the quick shifter, and you just don't get that on the MT09, or at least I haven't noticed that at all. And like I said, the quick shifters aren't really found on your everyday, you know, motorcycles just simply because they're not needed. It's hard to really justify getting one for your everyday motorcycle. The only argument I could you know, even say is some say that the quick shifter helps with the longevity of your clutch, your transmission, simply because the quick shifters are a lot more efficient and better at shifting than you are. But you know, that's not really the best argument to spend money on a Quickshifter. It's like a luxury item that's really nice to have, especially if you have a bike with some power that gets up and going real quick. It just makes it that much more enjoyable and more fun to ride that bike. The MT09 was such a blast to ride before, but after putting the Quickshifter on it, I love this bike. This thing is so much fun. And you know, that pretty much does it, guys. Just a quick update video on these two items. So if anybody out there is shopping for either one of these, this is just kind of, you know, what you can expect after a couple months, couple thousand miles. I'm not saying everyone's gonna have these experiences. It's just my experiences so far. Haven't had any issues with them. If any of that changes, I'll definitely post an update. If you guys have any questions, comments, or anything, you know, post them below. I try and answer as many questions as I can, as fast as I can. Again, guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button now. Give me that thumbs up if you found the video helpful, useful, or entertaining. Thanks so much, and until next time, I will see you in the next one. Peace.